Hi there, this is Kathy Crow here at the Crow Cottage. Thank you so much for joining me here in Springfield, Missouri. It is a wet day. It's very fun. It would be actually a good day to play Little Cat in a Hat Friends. As long as you have a good umbrella, it's not too bad. It's a little windy. When I went, the wind is the problem. Today, actually, the rain's quite light. So it would be nice. In fact, I would have gone after my workout to the park with my trusty umbrella, but the wind was so strong that when I used the umbrella to go in, I was grateful for it, but I was so warm coming back out, I just thought, I'm not even using this umbrella. It's my legs that are getting wet because of the wind. So anyway, it is a blustery day. But I like that because it actually keeps me inside. This is the day I was kind of wanting to do this anyway. So thank you for joining me after all that prelude. My voice works fine. My words don't come easily. So I used a couple of old stamp sets. I didn't even get them out. This one actually is current for today's project, I think. I don't even know anymore. But I love this little project. It's so cute. So you do kind of have to, you know, when I put this up on this, these should all stand up really nice. And if I had it weighted down properly at the bottom of each image, I think it probably would. As it is, I do kind of have to torque it a little bit. When it's laying flat, you know, and I actually usually like these kind of things. I like to have as a, you know, as a fold over, and then this goes on the inside. But I don't know, it actually makes a really cute front of the card. These kind of triple easels don't always. Waterfall and triple easel cards, they're fun to make. They give a little bit of extra oomph to people who like to play with their toys instead of just looking at them. But it actually stands up pretty good, doesn't it? Even before that, putting it up on the easel. But I really liked putting this little bench under it. Now this little bench or stool, oh man, I should have got that stamp set out. I'm not real sure what that's from. Because I was thinking it was from that basket thing, but it actually is probably from this set, whatever the heck this set is. So anyhow, happy harvest, happy hello, something like that. I'll go see if I can find it to see if that has this little stool on it. But for Halloween, that's fine for harvest themed things, but I really liked this. This turned out so cute, didn't it? Black and white's pretty good for Halloween. You can't go wrong. And then these images were so fun to stamp, and then they do just stand up pretty nice when I'm doing it the right way. I did emboss the words, but I just stamped these guys in black. And this set came with the ornate frames dies that cut these all out. And then it should stick. If I bent it up right, it would. Believe me, this is a cute project. You're going to want to do it. You just have to not have it flopping around on your desk for a long, long time. See, it does stand up quite nicely. And then open if you dare. This is actually one of my favorite scenes. Ghouls something. I don't remember. But it was several years ago. And I liked it. But when you flatten it all out, you know, you kind of put the one you want on the front there, and it is going to look like that. You can flatten it out however you wish to. You can. This is how I would do it to slide it into my envelope. I still have my poison jars are kind of showing a little bit there. Actually, those aren't poison. That's a witch's brew stuff. Oh boy, if you're not into creepy Halloween things, that would not appeal to you, but that's okay. For some of us, we do just stay on the very innocent and simple side. But today, I'm going to do that card so you can see how I did it. It's very easy, super easy. Kids can do this one, super easy. But I'm going to break out, this says 2002. That's, oh my, the birds are coming, the rain's coming more straight down now, and I can see it pouring a little bit through our deck. And normally this time of the year, I don't see birds flying around outside that window under the decking, but they're looking for shelter apparently, because that's what they're doing. I think a friend gave these to, thank you, Michelle. I think, Michelle, you're the ones that shared these with me, or I might have bought them off of eBay, because they were ones I couldn't afford in 2002, and I really loved them. So those are the two that I'm going to be using for the image, and then this is 1991. I love it. This is how long I've been stamping, for a long time, because before then even, but this was a not even a Stampin' Up! Stamp. This is a long time defunct stamping company. I'll leave it unnamed, and you probably can recognize what it is just by the clue I could mention in the image. Oh, if you know, go ahead and comment. I don't care. So it'll be good. You might not know. Maybe you haven't been around as long as me, but I've been stamping a long time. Now, that doesn't always reflect in quality of work. I wish it always did, but it doesn't. But anyway, I do enjoy it, and I try. I do try. So I'm going to put the lights down here. We're going to get started. Don't forget to this. I think you only have 2 more days of the starter kit thing, and it's good. You've got, you can get up to $129 worth of products for $99. You're not going to find anything better than that. And free shipping, I believe, because there's free shipping right now anyway. Right? Or no, maybe the free shipping ended. I don't know. But anyhow, so if you are getting a starter kit and you are just starting out, let me just tell you a couple of things you definitely want. A simple chamois. Now, mine's been cut in half so it can fit in here. That is one of the things you want. You want that. You want a bone folder, okay? You want good scissors. We used to sell these little snips. I keep mine nice. But not only do I keep mine nice, I also keep my quilting scissors right here. These I don't allow myself to use except for in extreme emergencies and on ribbon and fabric only. They just happen to be here. If I have my grandkids here and I'm letting them craft at my desk, I remove these so that they are not tempted to use them at all. You also need this pick a tool. It has all kinds of stuff in it. You need your dimensionals, your glue, you need standard ink, and then just increase your supply of ink as you can afford. And your cardstock. Start with your favorite colors and then what you can afford, and then just keep adding because you will want every color. I buy all the colors every year because they're just always highly desirable by me. So I'm going to go ahead and use my scrap of white cardstock that I have right here on my desk, and we're going to ink up this old-fashioned wood block. This was in the days before, and since I flubbed that one, we're going to flip it over and do it again. This is in the days before I've embossed on here so much this is all warped, so that's not helping there, but I love old wood blocks, okay? I'm sorry that they are not ever coming back in Stampin' Up! World, and they haven't been anyway for a long time. We've had cling stamps, but I actually really like my wood blocks. They're always ready to go, but they do take up a lot of space. If I had only wood blocks, I would not be able to stamp nearly as much as I do. I would have to be much more limited in what I have, and I have thinned out my wood blocks every few years. When we moved here, 2 or 3 times in the past 20 years, I've given away like hundreds, literally, of old wood blocks. The last time before we moved here, I took to my daughter and my wonderful daughter-in-law's sister-in-law. I think. Katie, I think you might have gotten those. I don't really remember. You might not have, but anyhow, I think I better go with brown here. I'm trying to think, what am I going to stamp that sentiment in? I would do it with pumpkin pie because I know I'm going to do pumpkin pie, but just to be on the safe side, sometimes these don't stand out enough. We're going to Give it plenty of room around the edge because I'm not real sure how much of a label I'm going to get on that. I'm going to want to keep it pretty snug. But this triple easel I'm doing, these images are going to be slightly bigger than the ones I did. I wanted really small ones like this one because then I could have plenty of room for my sentiments. I wanted all of these on the side for this Halloween card. It does open up, and then you can put your other things and, you know, writing on the inside. This is going to be somebody's Halloween card next year. But this is more the size that today's is going to be. And it actually, if you have scored it properly, like I haven't really at the moment, because, you know, as it lays flat for a long time, where's my bone folder? After talking about it, and now I've moved, oh, there it is. This is burnishing it. You want to make sure those are burnished. If those little folds are burnished really well, then it's going to stand up quite nicely, okay? Isn't that cute? So I'm going to go look really quick over at the side when I put my ink pad away here. And then I'm going to see if, see what set that was from, because I'm not 100% sure. I think it's Harvest Hellos, but we'll find out. Oh no, it's not Harvest Hellos. It's Hello Harvest, but no, it does not have that stool. So I'm not really sure where I got that from, but it is the pumpkin and the bouquet, and I do really love that, even though it wasn't the sentiment I wanted for this, you know, Thanksgiving card, basically. So, you know, this is a cling stamp set, not current. I think this is like last year's or maybe 2 years ago. If this was easy to do, I would take, and I still might at some point in time, but the words are curved perfectly for this. So it's, you know, you can just take tape and cover it, ink it up, and then rip it off. That way you're not damaging your stamp. But if you want to damage your stamp and you'll never make it perfect again and be right again, you can take your X-Acto blade and you can remove that sentiment. And then you have your banner, and you can always stamp other words on the inside very easily as a second step. I'm just saying, these are the things I do with stamps that are very old that I know I'm willing to experiment a little bit with and see if I can create something that I'll be using more often. And if it's ruined, it's an old one. But that one I'm not going to be ruining. That one's too nice. I'm going to just keep putting tape over the words just to be on the safe side. No use messing around anymore. We're going to go ahead and get started. I do have a website, but it's hard for me to keep it up to date because of the time factor of it all. And I do appreciate it, though, if you are on YouTube or on Facebook with me, if you would go ahead and like and share everything, that would be wonderful. I would really appreciate it. You know, before I even do the card base and all that, I do need to see what I'm going to be coloring things, because the colors I use are going to be what indicates to me what my cardstock color is going to be. And so, trying to find all my colors. So I've got Smoky Slate, I've got Ivory, and a 700, which is very pink, I believe, fleshy pink, and Pecan Pie. Pecan Pie's been my go-to lately. We're going to use Pecan Pie. Here, let's get this like this so we can see it a little better. Okay. Try to get my light on here better so that you can see what I'm doing, hopefully. And, all right. Okay, now the little hedgehog, he's so cute, but I don't want to cover up all of his wonderful personality with colored ink. So we're going real easy. This is light pecan pie. Very light. Okay, and that's why I've got my 700, which is a pink thing going. Ivory. See, if I use the dark, this is going to be way too dark. Let's just see how dark, shall we? And then maybe I'll use more of that light. No. No. Now you can use pencils if you're concerned about washing all of the detail of things away. So ivory, this is kind of a watered down ivory. I'm not sure I really like your shade. It's partly why I was thinking I might want some crumb cake out here. And my 700's not bad. We're going to use 700. It's a bit on the yellow side, but just to get all of the little hedgehog colored. And then I'm going to get my petal pink, I think. And I don't know. I'm going to think about this. I can get out my pencils. I do have pencils. The only reason I don't use them so much is because they are slower to use. And when I'm doing these videos, especially if there's very much coloring at all, I am trying, for your sakes, to go a little quicker than I would be if I were all on my own. A bronze is also a good one that spreads around quite a bit. Now I'm trying to stick with my Stampin' Up! Colors. I do have other alcohol inks that I pull in when I absolutely have to. Okay, this is a kind of a washed up bronze, which is good because I'm just trying to get a little more brown in here, but not dark brown. And the old ivory again. Okay, that did get it washed a little bit out. It's looking awfully green, so I'm gonna have to do some rescue with my. I'll try a very, very cool color, gray, and we'll turn him slightly gray. Although he's looking pretty ghoulish. That green is a good ghoulish color. It's true. But he's looking sick. You do not want a sick trick-or-treater coming to your door, and that just looks ill. So, hello, we are done with you, and we will just stamp anew because I'm gonna have to just get out my usual browns. I should have known. Okay, there's one, and there's two. Because I do want this to look friendly, not freaky. Today is the kind of day that I do not want to hear any horror stories. There's already, wind blowing. There's already rain. It's very fall looking out there. I've got lots of nice color. I'm going to have to get rid of every single rose in our yard. I think I have 3 or 4 more bushes left, maybe 5. We've taken out tons because of rosette disease, and I just saw on the one that's got tons of beautiful blooms on it right now. A strong rosette disease branch, so it's like, seriously, we are gonna lose every single rose in the yard, I think. Just very depressing to me, but I've gotten over it. When there's bad things, especially something trivial like a rose bush, but very impacting to me. It's a garden thing, so that just means that something better is coming. Really, that's true in everything. Something bad happens, just wait. God has got something really good in store. He does not do these things without great things, good things for you. In the future, you will say, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for that trial. So I'm not happy to lose all of those roses, but I know something better is coming. I don't know if it's that I'm just not going to have so many roses and I won't have as much work. I sent to my Now here's the stage. You get all of your little darker browns in, okay? And I have experimented with tons of brown Stampin' Up! Where are you? Alcohol pens. And I see what other people have done and it's okay. But I actually prefer to add my E31. E31 or something similar. That one's actually a little bit on the green side too. We don't want to have anything green today. I'm already, and that I'd overfilled, so it's even leaking a bit. Now when you can fill these. I've ruined this by doing all kinds of stuff anyway, but I can see I had that overfilled, you see. So when you fill these, you do need to be careful not to overfill them. You can buy the inks and fill them. But you do have to be more careful than that. And then what is the other one? The other one is E something. Not that one. Oh, E00, possibly. We'll see. That one might be a little too pale. See, this is more like what I thought our 700 was. It's very pinky, and I do want that right on his little face and his tummy. Maybe if I could see the bottoms of his feet would be nice that way too. So our petal pink actually is very close to this color, but so you don't need that one. Let's see, but I'm still looking for my favorite color to set with this brown. Now, what we used to call number 500 is pretty good. This is probably a light. There's several shades, and this is the light one, I suspect, but you see, it's pretty dark still. Come. I don't know why I'm not seeing it. It should be right on the top here, but it is not. Huh. So maybe it is that E31, because I'll just get it out and we'll use it. Maybe it's E11. No, that's the one I just had out. Okay, maybe. Let's try E11 and see. E11 looks pretty pinky too. Not bad. It's good enough. All right, so that's going to kind of smooth out our little browns just a little bit. Okay. Now, if I wanted to make this look like it had real hair on it, I don't want to go into that much trouble because this is just a quick little card to show you could do this really fast. And the coloring here is taking me a little longer than it probably should. Let's go ahead and do his little belly. But we'll hang on to this because when we do our pumpkin, that might come in handy. Your pencil can do a very nice job. Oops, I missed his hand. Of adding little fur. You just go dot, dot, stripe, little fur strands. I mean, each little strand gives you another little layer. I know that sounds labor intensive, but it's actually not that bad. It sounds much worse than it really is. Now here's Smoky Slate. The light one we'll try on our, all my nibs are getting really worn. I'm not sure why. They're seriously worn. Normally I can use my brush tip a little bit more, but lately I've been just able to use my bullet tip only for the most part. Okay, so we're doing just these little bits of gray. I don't think I'll do it with the pumpkin at all. And then I've got C2, it's kind of a dark one. Let's try C00. It's a very, or C01 maybe. There's C00. This is cool, and it's a very gray, but with a more bluish overtone. So this is the 00. Almost to white. There we go. And that's for our cute little mouse. Okay, because I don't want him to be very dark at all, because I want to see a smiling little face. This one's C1, and it's just that little bit darker. Just a little bit. Okay. All right, so now we've got our pink again. I'd like pink for the ears and the nose, and I think that's it for those colors. Let's try petal pink. Okay. I wonder if it's going to be raining here at all during I don't think so. For Halloween, I do not think it's going to be raining at all. I hope not, because that means we're not going to get hardly any trick-or-treaters at all, if it is. Our trunk-or-treats near us are so prolific and so good. I mean, if I was a kid, I doubt that I'd be going around very many neighborhoods, no matter what, because it's just it's pretty hard to... if you're in kid land, all you want is the candy, and if your parents aren't making you go to certain houses, like your grandparents, please do go to your grandparents. There we go, a little bit of pink in his cheeks. So cute. Anyway. We won't get any trick-or-treaters. It's one of the fun things of Halloween, so... rain, go away. All right, so now we're going to keep our, I think, just pumpkin pie. You know, Timid Tiger is actually a very nice pumpkin-y color. I kind of like it. It's a little on the light side, so we'll hang on to it, and we'll go with light pumpkin pie. And just highlight the little cute pumpkin face and our candy. Let's see, candy corn, it's orange in that section. And white on top, yellow on the bottom. Is that right? Jeff and I haven't eaten candy corn in who knows how many years. I like it. I don't know that he's ever cared for it too much. Jeff is not usually one. Halloween is about the most candy he ever consumes in a whole year. And he actually eats quite a lot. I mean, it's pretty funny because I'm the one that's the big sweet tooth, but I've cut way back on my candy consumption. My stomach can't handle it. I mean, my mouth can handle it. My mouth can handle almost anything. Look at how much nicer orange that is, you know? So just go with the darker orange on the bottom of your little pumpkins. And then we'll just use light pumpkin pie to... Look at my nib. It's just like totally messed up. We'll do this. It's a little darker than I probably would have liked, but it's sort of blending into his fur. We'll leave the very tops for my Timid Tiger or something. Okay. This year we had like the neatest plastic skeletons in our at-home store. And so I bought one. He was so cool when I brought him home and set him out. Oh, is that dark? No, that's light, Timid Tiger. So no, it's darker than my light pumpkin pie. And I think that's not just because that pumpkin pie is getting weaker. I think it's actually because it is darker. So let's try peach pie. That might be light enough to kind of give a little bit lighter coloring to the pumpkin, just so we get a little bit more dimension there. All right, that's not bad. Now you can get a color lifter and get some color off if you feel like it's a little too dark. That actually does work pretty well. And then I think the other thing I need is just some good yellow, like real yellow. And I'm seeing some lemon lolly here, right here at the top. So we'll just go with this and see if it's lemony enough, because Daffodil Delight's pretty strong. And if this was not black already, I would color that. let's do our stars in our hat and our little broom straw. And I might even do our trick-or-treat bag just so we can still see the trick-or-treat bag. This looks like a piece of cheese. I don't know. I'm just going to color it yellow. I have no idea what is in the ghost's pocket. If it's cheese, it's to keep, you know, his friend here up in the front nice for the whole evening. Did you take your kids trick-or-treating when they were really, really little and kind of having a hard time staying out for the whole shebang? Because sometimes a little snack along the way can help a lot. Okay, we'll do this and this. And then we just have the, oops, that's kind of a fat nib to use there. We're going to do this with something color coordinated. I don't want to do yet purple. Purple would be your, or green. That'd probably be your traditional cap, and black would be good. I don't want to do that because this card's already going to be action-packed enough. I don't need to be adding a third color in. I want to keep it pretty simple. So I think maybe we'll just grab out this gray, and we'll just use a nice neutral gray here for that and the cape as well. Okay, and I think we're almost done here. Okay, try to get that to look a little more Halloweenish with a little bit of orange as well. Got to be careful. Mixing these colors like this, you can go to a very sickly green real quick. So, in which case, you should just do green. All right, I think that's good. We're finally done with that. Now we're ready to do, because he can just stay white for his little sheet. I don't need to mess with any of that. I guess I could put some of the ground in. If you want to do that, you can. I don't know how much of that's going to be showing, because much of that I'm going to be cutting away anyhow. Okay. All right. There we go. Now I'm going to put all of my colors away really quick. And then we'll get going on this easel card. Now this is a project I saw, Bronwyn Eastley, I believe that's how you say her name. Oh boy, is she talented. If you don't know who that is, go look at my newsletter. I have her name typed in there. And find her, follow her, watch what she does. She does all kinds of fabulous, fabulous things. All right, now let's see here. Very good. All right, so now let's try to get my lights a little more to the side so we can see everything. And here we go. It is a little dark in here because it is just dark. It's dark, dark here. It's going to be a very dark day. Do I want to do pecan pie? No, I think that'd be too dark. So we're going to go ahead and get out what I prefer to use for Halloween cards, which is pumpkin pie. You can't go wrong with a good piece of pumpkin pie, I think. We do have that timid tiger. He's pretty cute. I've got a lot of him right there. I'm going to grab out 2 cardstocks, although I think I'm only going to use 1 piece, but just in case I have an accident, we will get out 2 pieces of pumpkin pie. And so don't forget the starter kit, $99 for, I think it's like $189 worth of product. Is that correct? I think. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Now what you're going to do first of all is cut your base card, and that needs to just fold. I'm folding it as a portrait card. So we're going to go to 4 1/4. Cut that in half, turn it, and score it at 5 1/2. And then this is my base card right there. You can take your bone folder and burnish that. Okay, so that's that. And then we're going to take our other piece right here. And this one we're going to cut at 1 3/4. You know, I'm going to look at 1 3/4 though, because that was for my skinnier things. So 1 3/4 is pretty small. Let's see. I think that's going to work though. I don't need this to be too wide because this is actually going to be the narrowest. And I do want it to stick out on the side. So 1 3/4 is going to be just fine. So we're going to cut it at 1 3/4. So you're ending up with this little extra scrap. Hang on to that if you want. You might use it as a backing for your little images. Who knows? And then we're going to cut this at 10.5 inches. Now it's 11. So that's only cutting off 1/2 inch, I believe. Okay, so we're getting rid of that. And then we're going to score this. Yeah, oops, I need that out because we're going to score this at 6.5. Okay, just make sure that you're not cutting. That's what I oftentimes do. So 6.5, then come down to 5.5. Score again, then to 4.5, score again, and 3.5. Yes, we're going down just in 1 inch increments. I'm going to go all the way down because even though I don't need all of this, here's 2.5. I am going to end up cutting some of this off, I believe, but I'm just getting it good enough so that I know exactly where, and 1.5. I'm going to go ahead and do it. 1.5. Now this is leaving a pretty good spot here. So we're gonna, this is gonna fold. So I folded like right here as a mountain. This is gonna also be a mountain. So you've got 2 mountain folds right there. That's actually the only part that if you're trying to just figure this out on your own, it's the only part you might flub. Okay, now you're gonna do a valley fold. Just burnish each one of these really good, and then another mountain fold, and another valley fold, and a last mountain fold. And then I'm going to figure it out because you see, this does give me my 3 spots right there. Okay, but this might be longer than I need. I can cut the bottom of it off if it's more than I need. For now, it's good. We're going to just leave it at that. If you're sticking with the same color cardstock for this part as for your base card, then you don't have to worry about hiding anything. Now you can get in here and see, do I want this on the side? Or do I want it in the middle or on this side? That's just your decision. But what I'm going to do right now is cut... with a label, I'm going to cut these images off, and we're going to see how big we need this to be. That is trash now. All right. You know, last week I told you about the gentleman I saw when I was exercising, who the child going in to the exercise place said to me, hello, and I was so happy that he'd spoken to me and all of that, and I was I was listening to what he was saying to his grandmother because he was so cute. And then I heard him say to his grandmother, I said hello to that man. And I thought, well, that is hilarious. Kids are so funny. Because she was obviously embarrassed and saying that was no man, you know. Well, you know. I saw a guy who actually looked a lot like me later walking around the path and thought, well, that kid's not so dumb after all, you know. He's pretty smart. You should have been listening to him, and he's correct. I did probably look a lot like this man. Maybe not as much as you know, thankfully, not too much, but enough that I could understand why he would call me a man. If that's the guy he's been seeing at the exercise place a lot, I could understand it. And I saw him again, but he looked a lot scruffier this time around, so I'm looking for my dies. I'm gonna just go, I was gonna try to find something else, but I'm gonna just go ahead and get out my little rectangle dies. I know these are gonna give me all of the options I need, because I need to make sure there's one that's big enough for this sentiment for certain. So let's try one. That's snug. Let's do the next one up. Well, that one might work. That one's good. It's good width-wise. It's a little tight. I'll have to move it a couple of times here to get it to fit exactly right for the end. So I'm going to go ahead and do this end and then pull it off and move it around and do the other end, because I don't want to cut it off. So I'm just going to go a little bit here and stop. And then I'm going to take this plate out and I'm going to just move this all around and move it here and fit. I can feel, you know, when you push your die in, you can feel the holes. Make sure it's fitting in. Otherwise, you're going to not like what you've got. I need it to be a little shorter than that. So I'm going to try it again and find that's as good as it's going to get. So I can feel where it is. I know I need to cut to about here to match it up. I'm actually going to bend my die a little because it's not gripping on there quite the way I want it to. There we go. Okay, I could feel those grooves. You want to get it in there perfect. Okay? All right, so now we've got that part cut out. I would like to use the same size die, but because there's my little greeting, but I'm sure it's not going to be the right width, you know. It's not even close. So let me find some other options. I'll probably need to find a square at this point. These rectangles get a little bit challenging to find. That one's too big. We don't sell this pack anymore. I'm so sorry that we don't, but we do have other ones that are close. It's just this one has so many, and I'm used to it. I don't need a new set. I do have a bunch of new sets. This one has more that are nested, so I just keep using this one a lot. One of these days it'll probably stop cutting as great, and I'll have to see what else I can become the new go-to for me. But for now, we'll just keep using these. All right, so this is how you can get multiple sizes out of your one die. Just make sure you're lining it up so that those all lay nice. All of those little stitches, whatever the design is, because it doesn't have to be stitches either. But stitches are a lot easier to do. If you're doing little curlicues and things, it's a lot tougher. Now this one I can go pretty far, and then what I'm going to do, turn it and get the other edge in. Oops, I'm probably off camera here. I've got it like right by my belly. When I turn it, now see, I cut all the way there. So again, I'm gonna go with it. I feel those grooves right there, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do it right there. Okay. So with one rectangle or square die, you can get a whole lot of different lengths and widths. You just have to move it around, you know, and stamp a few different times to get it that way. Oh, on the floor. Might as well just toss that one down there too. All right, so we'll get all of those things down there because I am done with that. Now for this part, I'm going to kind of get an idea. I want my sentiment to be on the front, and then we'll probably put this guy in the back and this one like that. Okay, but I need to decide, okay, now when the card is flattened, how do I want this to look? Because I don't want this covering that. I'm going to want this to be like this. Okay, so my greeting is going to be here. Okay, and then this one's going to be here, so it'll be partly covered. Or do I want this one here and this to be here? I think that's how I'm going to want it, because when it's flat, only some of this can show. Okay, so this one will show like this when it's all flattened out and in your envelope. Okay, and my sentiment. Now you can put the sentiment here if you wanted to, you know, so it's what it's resting on. That's an option. I prefer not to do that, but I can do that. But I kind of want my sentiment to be showing right here. And then this is going to go up like this. And this is going to be here. I'm looking at this to see what's this going to look like when it's closed, because I want it to be cute. So this is going to go up just a little like this. Okay. And I need to make sure it's all going to fit on my card. Once I've got these in position, it's super easy to figure everything else out. But I need to get them in position on the easel. And you need to have a way to fold up each easel. So that one folds up and that one's going to fold up. Okay, I'm just making sure. So what I'm going to do is move these to the side for a moment. And this one, I'm going to keep it here, but be real careful not to get any glue on there. I'm just going to put glue here. Yeah, that's fine. So just to recap what I've done, this first mountain fold you did, move this up. So you've got your mountain fold there. This is where you're going to be gluing this back image on. You're going to glue it on here, but make sure that it's down, you know, as pretty much as far down on this little easel as you can get it, because you don't want something sticking up out of the, I'm going to get rid of that glue there a little. Okay. All right, but I'm moving it up just a bit above the fold just so that there's no issue with it actually folding. Okay, and I did have a tiny bit of glue on that edge there. So I'm going to use my little gummy thing just to make sure that's off. There, that's better. All right, so now that one's there. Now this is going to fold up like this, right? And then the next image is going to go like right here, but when the card's in its closed position, it's going to be like this. So to glue on here, we're going to put it in its closed position. I'm going to move this up here like it would be if I had fastened it. It's not fastened yet. And I'm going to put this here. I do want this to be like here. When it's totally closed like this, it's going to you're not going to see it. And I'm going to explain that in a minute. But for now, I'm going to do this because I actually want it to be like here. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to put glue just right here. Here's your next little mountain fold that you've got. You've got that mountain fold, that mountain fold. I'm going to put glue like right here at this very top, but not down here, because I actually want my image to be a little bit higher so that when everything's upright, I can see everything. Okay, so I'm going to put it on the upper half, not the very edge, but just this upper half right there. And then this one's going to be placed just a bit higher and centered with this picture. Okay. I've got glue down there too, so let me get this glue off. Getting some glue going there. All right, and now we're done with that. So I'm just checking out my easel to make sure, okay, it's standing up nice. I do like it. This is a bit long. I don't really need it to be this long, so I'm gonna take this, because this sentiment is gonna go like this. Like this. Okay, so when in its closed position now, it's gonna look like this. I've got like 1/4 of an inch hanging out down here, so I'm gonna snip off, and it just depends. The reason I didn't adjust this measurement is it just depends on how big of a sentiment you've got. If it was a little bit wider, I wouldn't have snipped any off. If it was thinner, I would have snipped more off. But that's where that's gonna be, and I'm gonna put that here. Okay, and just put it right at the edge. I'll leave a tiny, tiny piece of that orange showing right at the edge here, just a tiny bit. Okay, and that is it. So now my easel is all constructed. I just need to consider, how do I want this to look on my card? Do I want this to be on the side? If I was going to put other greetings here, I would, but I actually kind of like it right here in the center. And you don't need this tail anymore. We're done with this. So if you don't want this to be showing, you don't need it, because you've got plenty of room to glue and keep it snug here. And when it folds, it's going to fold like this. Here, let me do this. It's got to go down a bit so that when it's in its closed position, it's all the way folded to that first fold. And then like this and like this. We want it to be like this, okay? And now you can't even see this tail part. So get it all folded in such a way as you're not going to see the bottom of it at all. And then you can glue. Once you've got it secured the way, you need to make sure this top is secured really good, okay? All right. And then that just needs to be right in the center. And kind of up here at the top. There. And then once you've got that on, you are virtually done. Okay, so we're gonna let that set for a minute, make sure all that glue is good, and then we're going to burnish it again. All I need to do is figure out what I want to have as a little prop right at the bottom here. And that is where your other piece of pumpkin pie strip is coming in. So we actually only used one cardstock piece. We did the base card. We did this 1 3/4 by 10 1/2, I believe it was a half. No, it was 10 and... No, it was 10 and, yeah, I think it was 10 1/2. Let me look real quick. It was, yeah, 10 1/2. And then started at score line 6 1/2 and then just scored a 1/2 inch all the way down to do the easel. 1 inch increments all the way down to the end of it. And then that's it. This is my scrap that's left over. And I'm actually going to take my rectangle die, if I can find it on the floor, where it fell. There's actually not as many fell off there as I thought would. That's not it, but it's close. Nope, that is it. Let's see if this is going to work, because I need it to be a good, yeah, that's perfect. So we're going to cut, I think I'm actually going to do, I'll do 2 of these. Let's just fold this over, and in one go, I'm going to do 2 of those, and then we'll do something. I don't know. You could do more words. You could do another image. It is a space that you could write on, but it's, you know, pretty small, and you've got the inside of your card, so you really don't need to do that. So I'm going to run this through 2 times because I have 2. I doubled it up and have 2 pieces of cardstock in there. I want to make sure that that cut. And it did, and it's right there. Okay. So now we'll just glue these 2 together. This is just adding a little bit of extra height to it. And there we go. And then we'll put our dimensionals on the back and find them. Okay, whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we went ahead and got a whole bunch of candy for our church. Normally we don't do that, but candy's gotten so expensive that while we were buying, I told Jeff, we are definitely buying our candy at Costco. I can't afford it anywhere else anymore. It's ridiculous how expensive it's become. And it's a good thing that, I don't even know how families do it. It's ridiculous. But anyway, you're going to want to see, where do I want this? You want to kind of cover that up a little bit. We're going to go ahead and stick it right there. I think that's going to be good. Okay, now you burnish everything again really well. That, and that. And then it is going to prop up really nicely. Isn't that cute? I really do like this set. It's a cute one. Okay, now all I need to do is find my actually I want something very skinny right here at the end that says something nice, you know, for whoever's going to get this little trick-or-treat card. This will probably go to my youngest granddaughter. They might appreciate it more than our older grandkids. I don't know. I don't know how much my grandkids like the Halloween cards I send them, because we send them usually other Halloween things too that might be more exciting for them. But I love sending the cards. That is my gift to me. And I'm sure my kids don't mind it. They are used to it. Used to getting cards when they probably didn't even really want them. All right, let's see here. We've got, I can look at Amber Autumn and see what it says, but they're too big. Those are too big. I need something small. Ah, very good. So Spooky Sweets. This one was a bat one that I really enjoy, and our bat one would look nice. This is another old one, Spooky Sweets. Just a friendly little greeting to wish you happy trick-or-treating. I actually want Happy Halloween right here. And in small, it's perfect. We have enough space on my scrap of white. I lost the backing on that apparently. Okay, so let's get a tiny block. And our pumpkin pie. Now these are our old die. Our old cling ones, that the clingy wasn't as clingy as it could have been. So it does tend to fall off pretty fast. I need to be quick getting that to the paper before the stamp just falls off the block, because it will. Okay, and then we can put that in there, and I'll put that on later. And for this one, I don't think I'll bother doing a little cutting or anything. I'll just go like this and like this. We'll see if that's gonna work. Yeah, that'll work just nicely. Right there, and then that's gonna fit here, and then I can even put my little bats on the side. That would be cute, wouldn't it? Very cute. I do need to straighten this out. That's the reason I use dies, because my cutting is not, it's obviously not straight enough. Okay, so that's gonna go right there. These are bats that are kind of large, and I don't have any dies on that one. Let me see what else I've got. I know I have other I have tons of dies with little bats, I know. I just have to find them. Cauldron Bubble, you do not have bats. And where's that spooky one I just had out? I think that one actually has bats. No, this one doesn't. Where is the one that I had? I thought I had one out. Because there's no bats in that one either. Where are, oh, there you are. No, this is the one I just had. There's another one. What is the other one with bats? You know. Thankfully, I don't have that many Halloween stamps. I can, that's a little bit. I see spiders. That's not what I want. Oh, I know, I have, I have wooden ones, I think. Ah, here they are. Here are the little spooky bats. So we've got little teeny tiny, this is Scary Cute. These were super cute too. So you can either just stamp them on. I might have enough of a ability to just press that on rather than cutting out. Cutouts would be cuter, I think, at this point, but just to make it simple, I'm gonna go ahead and just do my black ink. And get that out of the way so I don't stamp you. And we've got little bats there and little bats there. Okay, there we go. Now we're done. Isn't that cute? I love it. So sweet. All right, well, you have a very happy Halloween. I hope you enjoyed that and that you are taking full advantage of all the, oops, what did I do? Ah, there I am. No, I'm not there. Where am I? There I am. Like what? Oh, it's my, the other side of the room. Anyway, it is a lovely week for me. I hope it is for you. We still have a couple more days. So then that starter kit option won't be available anymore. And this is probably the best one, so don't forget to take advantage of it. And then there probably will be some really cool online exclusive in November. I'm looking forward to it because I did not buy a lot of Christmas stuff, so I'm really hoping something Christmassy might be in that one. We'll see. And then next week, I think for the next 3 weeks, maybe. Well, maybe not every week, but really all the way through part of December. I think I've got some kind of fancy fold I'll be doing for you. So I hope you enjoy that. Make sure you like and share. Oh, do subscribe. Doesn't cost you anything. It is really nice for me when you do that. And I will see you next week. Have a wonderful day. Bye.